Holy mackerel, Nez Nation, do I have a video for you today. Megyn Kelly has just dropped a political atomic bomb on Letitia Big Shame James. Oh my goodness. She has a secret text message that she made to her accountant, which literally spells she's finished. She's done. It's all over. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Nez, didn't these cases just get dismissed? Do not get too hasty, my dear. I've got a lot to share with you. Also, I've got a ridiculous, insidious ghoul Democrat. Only days after two National Guardsmen were brutally attacked in Washington, D.C. Wait till you hear what she says about what Trump's doing in D.C. And then I've got a beautiful video from an actual D.C. resident to just shove it right in that mongoloid's face. Oh, you're going to love it. And then last but not least, this is a powerful segment I'm going to share with you at the end. You don't want to go anywhere. Scott Jennings, you know him. I know him. We both love him, who is the only reason that CNN is probably still on the air. Scott Jennings tells it like it is and talks about what keeps him up at night. You don't want to miss this. But first, holy mackerel. I want you to take a very careful watch and listen to what Megyn Kelly just dropped about Letitia Big Shame James on her show. This is huge. Watch.
And selective prosecution. And in response, the DOJ revealed new evidence against her, including a text message marked March 28th, 2024. And it was about how she's taking deductions on, again, what we know is actually an investment property, not a second home in Virginia, the one at issue in this case. And she texted him saying, this is to her accountant. Okay, her accountant. So this is an IRS filing. And she says, I do not want to take deduction. It looks suspicious. And I need to do everything according to the tax code. So she'd been taking the deduction for years, by the way, for years. The government represents James represented that the Perone residence, that's the one in Virginia, was an investment property in her income taxes, including taking deductions consistent with investment property, not a secondary residence, because that was more tax advantageous to her. These deductions demonstrate that James never occupied nor intended to occupy the Perone residence as the mortgage terms required. That's what she promised the mortgage lender she would do, and she didn't. Defendant continued taking the investment property deductions for several years until in 2024, she told her accountant, I do not want to take deduction. It looks suspicious, and I need to do everything according to the tax code. Now, March of 2024, you've got Donald Trump as the nominee, Joe Biden extremely weak. June of 2024, he would have his meltdown. November of 2024, Trump would be elected. But in March of 2024, the numbers were already spiraling. And there was serious questions about whether Joe Biden could win. And I think she's sensing there is the possibility of a Donald Trump return to office where somebody takes a closer look at my documents. And clearly, she realized that there was a massive inconsistency in what she was doing. One could argue a fraudulent inconsistency in what she was doing. And this will 100% come back to haunt her when her case gets refiled. We'll see if the throwing out gets affirmed on appeal. But even if they affirm the fact that Lindsay Halligan couldn't do this, she's getting re-indicted. And by the way, the case against her has only gotten stronger. So a grand jury, I actually do have a lot of faith, will re-indict her. And fearless or not, she's going to have her hands full.
So, I mean, this has been going on for 40 years. Letitia James, mortgage fraud. It's literally a criminal enterprise. I've done so much digging on all of this, on her three residents, one in Queens, one in Brooklyn, one in Virginia. This has been ongoing forever. But why this latest text message? And she's absolutely right. She is going to get indicted again. It was just a simple, ridiculous, small, miscellaneous reason that the original case got dumped. And yeah, that may fall on the shoulders of the DOJ and Pam Bondi, but there's so much conclusive, substantive, evidentiary evidence against this fraud, this thief who tried to imprison our president fraudulently, meanwhile, was literally like an absolute criminal kingpin in New York, robbing New York residents in the very state that she so represents. So this text message is really, really huge. And she's panicking in that text message because she's been taking investment property deductions for years on a home she swore to the mortgage lender she would personally occupy. Ladies and gentlemen, that is mortgage fraud, clear as day. And now the DOJ has the receipts. Here's the kicker, though. She only stopped taking the deduction in 2024. Gee, isn't that interesting timing, right? When President Trump surged in the polls and it became obvious he was going to reclaim the White House. Suddenly, Big Shane James decides things look suspicious. Suddenly, she needs to, quote, follow the tax code. Isn't that interesting? Isn't it funny when you get real leadership, when you actually get people who want to help America? All the Democrat cult, criminal, terrorist, illegal, supporting heathen, insidious ghouls start to follow the tax code and follow laws. Suddenly, she stops the exact deduction that exposes her lie to the lender. She wasn't cleaning up her act. She was covering her tracks. And Megyn Kelly basically says the real truth. She knew President Trump would reopen every file and her own misconduct would finally get some sunlight. Now the DOJ says she filed taxes treating the property as an investment, took years of deductions, never intended to live there, violated the mortgage agreement, and only reversed course when the political winds shifted. This is not a paperwork error. She keeps claiming it was just an error. It was a simple documentation and filing. And nobody makes an error like that, saying this is my primary residence and I married my father. I mean, I've covered so many videos on this. This is not a paperwork error. This is a pattern of fraud. It's the exact same type she falsely accused President Trump of. My friends, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Americans, projection is always the tell. Whether the current dismissal stands or not, she's 1,000,000,000% getting reindicted. The case against her is stronger than ever. And this time, she won't be able to hide behind the mainstream media or the courthouse that she weaponized against President Trump. She built her entire career. She campaigned against that I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. Her whole career, just like a lot of these TDS infected. Wait till you see this ridiculous heathen Democrat I'm about to share with you. She built her career on this. And guess what? Now the paper trail she created is coming for her. There's no escaping. And I'm here for it. And I hope you are too. I can't wait to get your comments on this story. Okay, next up, I've got this unbelievably unqualified. This to me, I mean, there's so many of them. AOC, Crockett, Presley, MacGyver, mentally Ilhan Omar. That's my nickname for her, and I love it. I know President Trump would love it too. We got to get Trump on our show. He needs to adopt that. It's the best nickname ever. Mentally Ilhan Omar, because it's accurate. But deranged lunatic Democrat rep Nydia Velázquez calls President Trump's efforts to clean up D.C. a photo op. This is literally the ink on the death certificate of that poor American hero, Sarah Beckstrom. Isn't even dry yet. And this mongoloid has the audacity to say this. Watch.
Instead of real solutions, President Trump, wielding racist rhetoric and sensationalized stories, has deployed federal agents and troops to roam the streets of America's city, where violent crime levels are at lows, unseen in this century, wasting valuable resources for photo ops. President Trump has chosen to make America more dangerous and exploit the problem of crime for political gain.
Just in case you didn't understand a word that Nydia Velázquez just said, I don't blame you. She essentially just said that there's no crime in D.C. Everything's fantastic. This is just a photo op. Why does he have National Guardsmen there? The same unbelievably despicable garbage, sewage spewage that comes out of all these hypocrites. Their new kind of line, their new kind of handed down orders, the minions have all adopted this. I see it everywhere. Thank God you don't have to see it. You just have to come here and hang out with me. I'll tell you all about it. They're all now saying that, well, those two National Guardsmen, nothing would have happened to them. Instead of addressing the actual real crime, the real problem of the fact that this Biden, Kamala, Obama, Holly, weirdo, Clooney, Soros cabal demon cult let in millions and millions of gangsters, criminals, terrorists, etc. Instead of addressing that, well, he shouldn't have had the National Guards there. That way, those two people would still. It's so parasitic. They have parasites dancing in their cranium. That's the only way you can explain this. Well, check this out. Who do you rather believe? Nydia, who doesn't know a thing about anything, let alone lawmaking and policy making and understanding what's happening in the real world, or an actual DC resident? I want to play this. This DC woman is saying how much safer she feels taking the DC Metro because Trump has the National Guard all over the place. This is beautiful. Watch.
Here, they've made the Metro so much safer. So for a long time in Washington, D.C., it has been really unsafe, especially as a woman, to take the Metro. And so because of the National Guard's presence here, a lot of women feel a lot safer taking the Metro. So these men and women are not here to intimidate anyone but criminals. So please keep that in mind next time you see the National Guard and thank them for their service.
Can you just imagine what historians are going to say 100 years from now? What are they going to say in 2125 when they look back at this time period and you actually had elected, I say in air quotes because God knows they actually, I can't, people like Ghetto Crockett and AOC and MacIver and these ridiculous, Maxine, who the heck would vote for Klingon Maxine Waters and this Nydia Velasquez? I can't even fathom what they're going to say about the fact that they worked tirelessly, ceaselessly, not to help Americans, not to serve their constituents, not to serve the public, not to serve actual law-abiding, hard-working, tax-paying citizens, but they actually worked their butts off. They sweat for criminals, for crime, for chaos, for sowing hate, division, mayhem, lies, propaganda. It's going to be something. I wish I could be there with y'all in 2125 to just see what in God's name was wrong with America back then. I hope we learn from this because this is absolute pure insanity. I can't wait to get your comments. Let me know what you think down below. Okay, in our last story, this is a really powerful video. I can't wait for you to see this. Scott Jennings, this is what keeps him up late at night. This, to me, is a referendum on the entire political landscape right now, including the do-nothing GOP party. Watch.
Keeps you up at night, and what could Trump, how could he do better at addressing those concerns you have?
Well, what keeps me up at night? Losing elections. I mean, honestly, like the biggest danger to momentum is losing the next election. If they win, they will impeach the president again. If they win big and somehow get control of the Senate, I think Trump is right about this. They will eliminate the filibuster. If they were to win in 26 and 28, they will pack the courts. They will make D.C. and Puerto Rico states. They will do a lot of terrible things in a very, very short period of time. So what keeps me up at night is our political future. And I think we do have a lot of good things going right now, but it can all come to a screeching halt and go the exact opposite direction in the blink of an eye. So I worry about that. I hope President Trump spends 2026 doing what he does best, which is selling. We've done a lot of great things. He's put a lot of balls in the air, and a lot of them have gone through the hoop. But now it's time to sell, and it's time to sell domestically. I think he's been one of the greatest foreign policy presidents we've had in recent memory. That doesn't typically move the needle domestically. And so I think it's time to sell on the domestic front. I do think the big, beautiful bill was great. I think the welfare reform was great. Making tax cuts permanent was great. Middle-class tax cuts for working-class people was great. Solving the immigration crisis was great. But what we talk mostly about with him right now is foreign policy. And look, I'm a motivated guy when it comes to foreign policy, but most voters are motivated by domestic issues. So I want them to turn him back into the middle of this country and go out and remind people why we kicked their asses to the curb last year and put him back in. And I know that he can do it.
I've been saying it. Trump is a man in the arena. He is a go-getter. He's a doer. He takes action. You've got Murkowski, Johnson, Thune, Scalia. The list goes on and on. I mean, just Graham, all of them. They're the establishment. They're the swamp vermin, just a different species. They're the same as the Dems. They've got zero balls. They won't even, you've got these Indiana senators, these Republicans in Indiana refusing to redistrict. What is wrong with you guys? This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. End the filibuster, pass voter ID, pass the America First agenda that we all voted for, and these heathen Democrats will never win again. What are you waiting for? Well, I know what it is. They don't have balls. Trump has balls. Theodore Roosevelt has balls. Reagan had balls. They don't have balls. And I know that's crass and crude, but it's absolutely a capital T truth. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see what happens. I agree with Scott. I can't wait to get your thoughts on this story and everything. But if you love America, for the love of God, please tap that thumbs up. Share this video everywhere on your socials. All your friends, send it to them through text, send it to your husband, your wife, your spouse, your grandkids, what have you. You know, I don't ever ask you to pay for anything. Just watch, share, and tap the thumbs up. You can even do it with your TV on your remote. We need to make common sense go viral so our grandkids' grandchildren can wake up and grow up in the America that you and I recognize. For the love of God, please. Thank you so, so much. I love all of you. I know you love America as much as I do. So please help us out. Check out these videos coming up right now on the screen, just in case you missed them. Tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. It doesn't cost you a thing. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless America and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.